I'm yellow, I'm brown. I suppose you can think of me as renown. Excuse me, excuse me, sir. Please turn around. You're blocking the sun from my crown.
Hasn't anyone told you, Your Highness, you shouldn't stare into the light?
And who are you, slave, to be impolite?
My name is Tare, and you cannot force me to share.
Do you not know who I am?
You are patient and long-suffering, and enduring to the end, for Scripture speaks of you as next to kin.
But he who endures to the end will be saved. Matthew 24:3.
But just because I was sown in dishonor, doesn't mean I too don't come from farmer. I may be perishable, but my deeds are canned in mire, and my words you'll see prove dire.
Now, you wait a minute. You said your name was Tare, yet appear more adjacent to my nightmare. For Joseph emptied, stored, poured, yet you, I think he would have ignored. I saw also in my dream, and behold, 7 ears, full and good, came up on a single stalk, and lo, 7 ears withered, thin and scorched by the east wind. Genesis 41:22-23. Your king demands to know who you are, and how you entered my palace thus far. What's your last name, and how old art thou?
Sire, for it was not I that broke thy vow. I told you my first, as for my last, only because you ask. Chaff is my last name, and leavened is my age. This dialogue is stale. Can the king please turn the page? With old age I know thou hungry, I know thou have weaned, for I am only asking for a subtle blaspheme. Juxtapose these stones. Never mind who rose. Your sense of humor shouldn't be so flat. Your Majesty wouldn't want that. I'm just kidding. I'm just poking. Are you always so serious when someone's joking? I'm just trying to get a rise out of you. You need to lighten up, buckaroo. Pass over my transgression. Don't deny your hunger suppression. Sweat of brow, hand to plow. Not looking back, not time to slack. Left discarded, up to him to bind the broken-hearted. How long wilt thou wait while others already ate? Late, late, late.
As long as it takes, for you I will repudiate. Man shall not live on bread alone. I am confident that one day I'll see my home. For the bread of life says this, now the flax and the barley were ruined, for the barley was in the ear and the flax was in bud, but the wheat and the spelt were not ruined, for they ripened late. Exodus 9:31-32. Before the mill I will sit still. After all, I have been tilled.
Your Highness, please refer to Thomas Aquinas. We cannot know what God is, but only what God is not. Go ahead and tell that to righteous Lot. Pillar of salt, salt, salt. It's not your fault. Is that what he meant to be the salt of the soil for which you toil? Should I call you saltine and me unclean? Like your reason has been seasoned, your thoughts have been winnowed. Let's see where they land when your head hits the pillow. As for Olive Kind, his story involved a glory brighter than Gomorrah above the menorah. As for Barley, I'm so sorry. I watched him celebrating the feast without yeast, amongst mandrakes and handshakes. Savut has passed. You will never last. As for seeing your home, you are mistaken, for the Lord has forsaken. Embrace fickle, for the farmer has already put in his sickle. My King Rye, fall into line. Deny, deny. Like good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, singing this will be the day that I die. Like Simon Peter, don't lie. Satan has demanded permission to shift you like wheat. Luke 22-31. So let's get out of this heat.
My chaff, I hold on to his staff, and it is I who will get the last laugh. And let us not lose heart in doing good, for in due time we shall reap if we do not grow weary. Galatians 6:9. I will not weary, for I know the bridegroom will not tarry. Like her dream before my glean, I will wait for Ruth and not aloof. So as Boaz loved prove with sandal remove. Haven't you heard, for my seed has not entered the belly of a bird? Haven't you felt that my seed is not moist? For this I have rejoiced. Haven't you witnessed I wasn't born among the thorn? Rather, I am the good seed, the soil. These are the ones who have heard the word in an honest and good heart and hold it fast.
Uranus. What's it like to serve a farmer that is evil, who put their burial in a word cereal? Felt, spelt, dealt. What of those who did not knelt? Bodies float. Tell that to those who did not get on the boat. God's honored choice. EIGHT. Tell that to the dishonoree. While some are considered baptized, what about those who were despised? For your own colonel says, who once were disobedient when the patience of God kept waiting in the days of Noah, during the construction of the ark, in which a few, that is 8, persons were brought safely through the water. And corresponding to that, the baptism now saves you. 1 Peter 3:20 through 21. You may be Wheaties, but for this there is no treaties.
4 chambers of the heart, understood St. Polycarp. Barley, wine, oil. Wheat's patience revealed what was from the soil. Barley is man's first fruits, oil is man's light, wine is new covenants, and wheat stands the test of time. Each man's heart produced what was sown from the start. The rain falls upon the just and the unjust. One last verse I must. Sow with a view to righteousness. Reap in accordance with kindness. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord, until he comes to rain righteousness on you. Hosea 10:12. Break up your fallow ground, for each chamber of man's heart deserves to abound.